Today, Jesus teaches us that the shortest key to greatness is service. If respect begets respect, then service begets promotion. One who cannot serve cannot lead. As Jesus said to the mother of James and John, one who cannot drink the cup of suffering, the cup of service, cannot sit at the right and the left hand of Jesus. If you ever find yourself in a position of servitude, if you are ever a slave, a servant to someone, an assistant to someone, consider it a privilege, an opportunity to improve on yourself, to learn and to grow. Because just as you serve, someday people are going to serve you. So service is like being in a school of life. When you serve, you get to learn so many things. When you serve, you get to grow and improve. Serving others makes you understand people, and it helps you to discover your hidden talents and acquire new skills. When you're given an assignment, it always seems impossible at the beginning. By the time you try to carry out that assignment, you discover that what you thought was impossible is not really that difficult. And before you know it, you begin to do that assignment again and again and again, and it becomes second nature to you. People begin to consult you for the same assignment you thought was impossible initially. You see, serving others helps you to discover your skills. To the world, it may appear as though you are simply slaving for the benefit of others. But in reality, service rendered with a cheerful heart makes you a star. We live in a world where people don't want to serve. People don't want to play second fiddle. Everybody wants to be king. Everybody wants to make it once. People are not ready to really bend. Jesus Christ tells us today, whoever will be great among you must be your servant. So the key to greatness is service. You cannot just become Lord one day. You have to serve. And when you serve, you discover that those you are serving are also serving others. You discover that there are really no lords in life. There's nobody who is self-made, self-established. Only God. Only God is self-made. Only God is not a servant to anyone else. The rest of us, really, we are all servants. So do not allow anybody to look down on you because you are a servant. It's a privilege to be a servant. It is a privilege. Don't look down on yourself. And don't begin to feel pity for yourself. And say, oh, I'm not a boss. I'm not the boss. I'm just a servant. It is a privilege to serve. Take it from me. If Joseph had not been a slave, there is no way he would have functioned well as a prime minister. If Joseph had not been a slave, there is no way he would have functioned well as a prime minister. God knew what he wanted to make of Joseph, so he arranged for Joseph to begin from ground zero, from the level of servitude. Life's greatest lessons are not taught in the comfort of our classroom desks, but in tears, sweat, and blood. No wonder Denzel Washington said, "Ease is a greater threat to progress than adversity." In times of adversity, that is when we make progress. In times of servitude, that is when we really grow. That is when our light shines. That is when our talents are discovered. As we see in our first reading today, it wasn't easy for Jeremiah. People were plotting to kill him because he would always speak the truth. Indeed, it wasn't easy for any of the prophets. Neither was it easy for Jesus, who emptied himself, taking the form of a servant. Therefore, God has highly exalted him and bestowed on him the name that is above all names, that at the name of Jesus every knee should bow, in heaven and on earth and under the earth. Philippians chapter 2 verse 5 to 11. Dear friends, there is more honor in being a servant than in being served by others. There is more honor in being a servant than in being served by others. And lastly, do not think that you are doing your children a favor when you employ houseboys and housegirls to do all the work, and all your children do is to sleep, eat, and sleep, play, eat, and sleep. Even to bathe themselves, they don't know how to bathe themselves. You still have to shout on somebody to go and carry your children and bathe them. Do you think you are doing them a favor? Especially when your children are above 10, 15 years. 15-year-old child cannot make his bed. 15-year-old child cannot wash plates. 15-year-old child does not know how to bathe himself or herself. Then there is a problem. You are not it's not that your children are not enjoying. Rather, they are being deformed. May God bless His words in our hearts.